live.
Oh,
Great
yay.
success. Jacob snuck in there.
Hi.
Hi, Jakey. Hi, people. Hello. Oh, Amanda's already here. Hope y'all are having a great day.
Thank you.
I know Bailey's having a great day.
I am having a great day.
We have some big news. And that is, go ahead, Bailey. You can share your big news. Share your news.
It's the next Percy Jackson book.
It is the newest Percy Jackson book, and we want to do a live. Bailey loves doing live streams, and we haven't been able to do them in a long time.
Yeah.
Like years.
It's been a
I don't
while.
know. Have you done anything else recently? I don't think so. So she hasn't done one in a very long time, and we were talking about how excited she is about this new book coming out. And I was like, you know what, Bailey, you love to like nerd out on books and stuff. And like the internet likes that too. So let's get you the whole internet and you can discuss Percy Jackson. And I think for today, as far as spoilers go, Bailey is pretty aware of that. And I think we'll try.
I will try not to spoil anything because I know not everyone knows Percy Jackson. Percy Jackson.
Not everyone knows Harry Potter even. So we'll try not to spoil that too.
We won't spoil Harry Potter either.
What I'm thinking is that you'll probably say something like, okay, this is a spoiler for this book.
Yes, cover your ears.
Cover your ears. Don't listen. Get out of here. But Lazy Game says, I've never read it. Is it good?
It is good. You should read it.
We're doing a whole live stream about
definitely
how much Bailey loves this whole series. And it's a whole world. I've read the first.
Yeah, there are many series.
Yeah.
To this series.
Back when I think Jacob was a baby, maybe, I read the first like 3 or 4, and I don't remember them. So I am here to help Bailey in questions and such, and answer some other questions if they come up.
I know everything though,
but
except for the King Chronicles. I haven't read that
yet. So if you want to ask any questions except for the King Chronicles,
or the new book, don't spoil the new book.
Yeah.
I haven't read it yet.
Yeah, Bailey's brought the new book so she can
it's here,
and she hasn't looked at it thoroughly.
No, not yet.
We were saving that for this moment. So and hopefully we get to as much as we can today. Cat Pizza says, oh my goodness, hello Bailey. I'm so sorry. I've never watched Percy Jackson, so I have to go.
No, read Percy Jackson, please. Please. Read it.
To take anything away today, it's read Percy Jackson.
You can watch the show too.
Watch the show. Yeah.
Yes.
Bailey has some opinions about the movie, but
I'm not going to get too deep into that. I don't want to talk about the movie today.
We're not spoiling this day with movie talk. Okay. Bella Ash says, have you read Heroes of Olympus?
Yes. I love Heroes of Olympus. I like it better than the first series, actually, that's a very controversial opinion.
Oh, controversy, Bailey. I was going to pull it up on my phone. I'm trying to figure out how to do it. And I also wanted to share the link, but let me see. Oh, here it is. All right. Who wants to come to the party? Oh, inappropriate. Get out of here. I'm thinking if I should block or not. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. All right. Maddie says, hello, OMG. Love y'all. It's my 16th birthday. I love Percy Jackson.
Oh, happy birthday. I love Percy Jackson too.
It's a good day to have a birthday.
Yeah.
Because look, there's a whole book coming out to celebrate with you. Let's see. There's a lot of people that said hi and joined us. This is lovely. Hi, Lisa Marie. Where's Parker? Parker is with his grandma right now. He's got a lot going on. It's a busy day. Eleanor says hi. Angria says hi. Who else do we have? Hey, from England. Hi, Madison. Hi, Audrey. I'm catching up. I'm going back a bit to catch up with everything. Samantha, hi. My sister Corinne says, my sister that's 20 got me into Percy Jackson and I'm 24. I think I read it when I was in my 30s. So
yeah, everyone should love Percy Jackson.
Yeah.
Always.
Eleanor reacts, says, what are you drinking, Bailey?
A tea. So I made green tea. Actually, she made it. Thank you.
Green tea, silver needles, I think was the full name. Okay. Bella Ash says, who is your favorite character? All caps.
Okay. Wow. That is really hard because there are so many characters and there's so many books. I'm gonna have to say Percy Jackson. It's probably my favorite character.
All right, go into it. Take your time, Bailey. This is you. This is your moment.
I mean, yeah, Percy's my favorite.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
I also love Annabeth. So, yeah.
And I'm kind of looking down at my phone right now because I'm trying to make sure I share this link out. So let's see. Cassandra's here. Hi, Cassandra.
Oh, hi, Cassandra.
Amy Catherine says, I'm on holiday right now looking for new books to start when I get home, so I might need to give it a try. What do you think?
Definitely do. It's very good.
So why should Amy Catherine read Percy Jackson?
I don't know. It's very good. It's very fast paced. It's very funny, and I really appreciate that. I love Percy Jackson. I love it so much. So, yeah.
And then Ambria says, hello, sweet Jessica and Bailey. I'm not a great book reader, but I could definitely try to read it. I love your passion for reading. I feel like of all the book series, this one is so supportive of that, right?
Yeah, it's like the books are pretty short. You can see. I think the most they get to is like 200 pages unless you read Heroes of Olympus. And those books are like sometimes like 400 or 500 pages. But they're pretty easy and they're fast paced. They're funny. They're really entertaining. So I definitely recommend them.
And they're very inclusive. And they're like Percy Jackson. Many of the characters have dyslexia and
ADHD.
So they're very like inclusive of people who might be less avid readers, not necessarily, but sometimes. Oh, here's a great one, Bailey. Kaylin Jesse says, do you recommend Percy Jackson for 12-year-old girls?
I started reading Percy Jackson when I was 12.
That's what I was thinking.
And absolutely, yes, I do.
Then you can be just like Bailey.
Yeah, then you can be just like me.
So, no.
Yeah, I got caught up when the last Trials of Apollo book came out. And then I have been like getting them as they come out.
You can go ahead and just chat for a little bit, Bailey, because I'm trying to get this up. So you can talk about that, talk about reading them when you're 12. What do you think for 12-year-olds? Like, are there scary moments? Like, what would be the things that for different?
I mean, I wasn't scared of it at all when I was 12, but I did just finish reading The Hunger Games right before reading Percy Jackson. So I don't know where my like scariness levels were, like that I could handle. It wasn't too scary. I liked it a lot. I still love it. I was Annabeth for Halloween one year. That was fun.
Let's see. Do you like Shadowhunters?
I've never read Shadowhunters. I think I'm planning on reading it soon, though. That's the one with the. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I feel like people have told me to read it before.
Or we talked about it recently, right?
Is the like Clockwork Prince? Is that one of the books?
Yeah. Is that a Shadowhunters book?
No, I got one of those for free from the library because I did the like read 100 books challenge or something over the summer, and I think it was read for like a certain amount of hours or something.
She did the library program, the summer reading program, where they give prizes throughout, and the big grand prize was picking out a book from their shelves. And you picked out the Clockwork Prince.
Yes, I did.
And you got 2 of those for some reason?
I got 2 of them, but then I realized that there's like much more to the series, so I feel like I should start from the first book, which isn't one of those books. So I have those 2 books. I don't have the first one, so I haven't started it yet.
And for some reason, that seemed to be like that's what was going on with the library. The giveaway books, they were all like the second books in series. So she got the second and third, but we've got to track down the first one.
Or maybe it wasn't the second. Maybe it was like, I think it was like the 7th book or something, because there's like several different, like the way you read it chronologically is like you have to read one series first and then another series, and then that series was like the 3rd one or something. I don't know how it works. I haven't gotten into like the whole world of that yet.
I don't know either. Jennifer Kassenbaum says, what is Percy Jackson really about?
It's very good. It's about it's about Greek mythology, but it's kind of like now, I'm really bad at summarizing things.
Modern.
But, yeah, it's modern. And it's basically about the demigods, like the children of the gods in Greek mythology, and it's really good. Basically, they have to go on quests and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'm turning this
Whoa.
off. I know. I was trying to make it so that was you. I was trying to make it so that the comments can show up on my phone, so I'm not like staring over your shoulder this whole time. Also, do you know, is that your water?
My
or
water?
is that mine? Because I
think it's yours.
Okay,
this
that makes sense. That's I was looking all over.
Yeah,
the
mine
kitchen.
had
Like,
ice in it.
Go. All right, that makes sense. Okay, let me get more organized with this. Amy Catherine says, "Thanks, guys. Been watching you for years. Love you all. Yay! Thank you." Jennifer Kassenbaum says, "Are the movies worth watching?"
No. Please don't. I was told not to watch them, but I was like, I'm going to watch these anyway because I like the books. They can't ruin the books. Like, there's no way. But then I watched it, and there was a way. They didn't ruin the books.
Do you think if you hadn't read the books ever, you maybe would have enjoyed the movies?
No.
All right.
Maybe the first one, not the second one.
I know some people do like the movies.
I know. I don't understand.
Yeah.
But, I mean, whatever.
Let's see. And then why don't you show off for people who are excited about the new book? Why don't you show the cover and like show what's going on with it?
Here is the new book. It's beautiful. Yeah.
Is there anything on the inside like a map?
No map.
No map.
There is a list of all the books in the series.
You want to show that off?
It's a little crazy.
For people who are thinking about starting the series.
If you guys are thinking about this, it's a commitment. It's The Lightning Thief, Sea of Monsters, Titans, Curse, Battle Labyrinth, The Last Olympian, The Chalice of the Gods, The Demigod Files, Percy Jackson's Greek Gods, Percy Jackson's Greek Heroes, Camp Half-Blood Confidential, The Lost Hero, Son of Neptune, Mark of Athena, House of Hades, Blood of Olympus, Demigod Diaries, Demigods and Magicians, The Hidden Oracle, The Dark Prophecy, The Burning Maze, Tyrant's Tomb, The Tower of Nero, Camp Jupiter Classified, and The Sun and the Star, which I've read probably all of them, except for the Demigods and Magicians. That's the only one I haven't read because I haven't gotten into
a single book, or is that like a series?
Yeah, it's a single book. I haven't read that one yet because it's part of the King Chronicles, and I still haven't gotten into the King Chronicles yet, which I feel really sad about that because I feel like I should, because a lot of people say it's really good, but I don't know. I haven't gotten into it yet. I read the first book, and then it was hard for me to understand because I didn't know much about Egyptian mythology before, and then I read it, and I was like, I don't understand what is happening. And then I had to wait like a few weeks to get the next book out from the library because it was already taken. And once I'd gotten it, I was like, I forgot everything that happened in the first book. So that's my whole story of the King Chronicles. I feel like I tried to go back and reread it a few times, but I couldn't.
Understandable. Corinne Elizabeth wants to know, how many pages do you read a day with reading the Percy Jackson books?
That really depends on the day. I feel like if I have a fully free day, like probably 1 million. But
like you would finish a book.
Yeah, I would finish like maybe more than a book. Like maybe like 3 of the books.
How many books of Percy Jackson books have you read in one day before?
Maybe like 3.
When did you do that?
When I first started reading that.
Understandable.
I think I read the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th books in a day.
Nice.
But yeah. Sometimes I feel like it's gotten a lot busier for me lately because, you know, I'm a junior in high school now. I have a lot of homework to do, and just like regular work because I'm homeschooled.
Yeah.
But so I haven't had very much time to read.
It's been a really busy semester.
It has. Yeah, I'm taking like 7 different classes.
Yeah.
Most of them are electives actually because I'm pretty much already finished high school.
Yes. That's a funny story. Can I tell that story?
Mm-hmm.
So we did a little bit of a switch this year from homeschooling just completely on our own, like private homeschooling, and we switched to working with a public school charter and homeschooling through the public school charter, which I know probably is a foreign concept to a lot of people, but and there are intricacies to it that I'll try not to. I have to figure out where to get into here. But we had to give them her like past transcripts, including all of her like dual enrollment college courses, because she's been taking college courses since she started high school.
Yeah, my freshman. Like,
So
it was my very first semester of freshman year of high school.
yeah, and then the public school then sorts out like, oh, okay, well, where are you at? Like, what do you have left? What do you need? And she discovered this fall that she only has 2 classes left. 2 classes, like one class for a semester for the next 2 years that she needs.
It's government and English.
Right.
I thought I'd finished all my English, by the way.
So I know of all the things. It's like Bailey's specialty. But she only has 2 classes left that she needs to graduate high school. So she could have graduated high school this semester, but she doesn't want to. What do you want to do?
I want to just have a whole year of electives before college.
Yeah. So that's her dream for next year. You're basically, you're doing close to that now, but you're going to take English next semester. So she's doing government right now.
And economics next semester.
Government and economics. Government right now, economics next semester, and then next semester you'll probably take English maybe through the college, either in the summer we'll see, but that makes it a semester. And then technically she'll be done with all the high school requirements. And we saw that and we were just like, wait, what? We're like laughing. We're like, what's going on? Is this true? And it's funny too, because her transcript is so heavy on those first 2 years, but yeah. And it's interesting because she does acting, and she's talked to her manager before, and the manager has asked like, hey, do you want to, like, if you finish high school, you can become legal 18, and which is, I guess that's an industry term, but it basically means like they can film without being considered like having to follow certain filming requirements. And she's said absolutely not. She got really upset when I asked if that's what she wanted to do. So yes, Bailey wants to have a nice, fun elective year next year.
I mean, yeah.
Do you have any ideas of like what electives
it's right in between the 2 stressful years, the junior year with the SATs and like applying for colleges and stuff, and then no, wait, you apply for colleges in senior year.
Yeah, it's like the very beginning of senior year.
Something like that. Yeah. But then your first year of college, which is obviously probably really stressful.
I don't know. I think it's going to be great for you. I think you'll love your first year of college. I think you're going to dig it. Okay. Because I'm going back to the old comments. We got kind of sidetracked with that kind of funny story that happened with us this year. Okay. What is Percy Jackson about? I think I've answered that. Ashley wants to know, do you ever do audiobooks?
Like read audiobooks, listen to them? Or like...
I think it's not record your own. I don't know what the options are.
I've considered recording my own.
You would. You'd be great at it.
I listen to audiobooks sometimes. It's mostly like if I'm learning a language. I have the Hunger Games the Hunger Games French audiobook. And I was listening to that. I've been sometimes I listen to that to go to sleep. Yeah. It's good. I don't really listen to a lot of audiobooks though. Normally if I'm going to read a book, I read it myself. That way I can think of all the voices of the characters before hearing them.
Let's see.
I used to listen to the first Percy Jackson audiobook all the time.
Yeah. You did. And because Jacob liked it like that.
Yeah, so Jacob liked it like that. So we listened to it a lot.
Yeah. We've had an Audible membership, I feel like for like 10 years or so, for like a long time. And Jacob and Parker both really, really like audiobooks. And then Bailey, we like them like sometimes on long car rides. Like if we take a road trip, it's really cool if everybody's cooperating. Right now we have like such a span of people that it's hard to hold all the interests of everybody. And then that's just loud and interruptive. So a lot of times the kids now travel with their own headphones, but I really like audiobooks. For long car rides. Personally, I think that's been a really cool thing we've done in the past.
I used to listen to the Green Ember audiobook as well. I don't even remember what it was about. I think there were like rabbits and they were fighting.
Yeah.
Or something.
Because I tried to do, everybody always recommended Redwall for you. And I which I have not read myself, but we own it and we have it in an audiobook. And I was like, oh, you're going to love this. And I've introduced that one to you so many times and you never got into it.
I don't remember that.
It's animals and fighting. So then the Green Ember was the one that like other people liked. That was animals.
I really liked
Warring
the first
animals.
book. I have no idea how many times I listened to it, but I always listened to it while I was doing puzzles. So yeah.
Yeah, you really liked those. Okay. Kimberly says hi. Hi, Kimberly. And then Cassandra says, did you guys watch Chaos yet? And I don't think Bailey even knows about Chaos.
What is that?
I almost shared it with you because so I watched it and I enjoyed it. It's like I've already kind of forgotten it, but I remember struggling with it because there's parts of it that I was like, oh man, I have to watch this, Bailey. I'm so excited. And then there are parts of it. It like reminds me of a show that like wants to be really edgy and like wanted to be kind of Game of Thrones, but like also wasn't. And it was kind of disjointed with like being very graphic and inappropriate and then like not. And I just remember there being a couple scenes where I was like, well, now I can't watch it with Bailey. I'm so mad. And I can't really remember what it was, but I feel like it was like very, very like gratuitous with sexuality maybe. And then also maybe with some violent stuff you wouldn't like. But basically, Bailey, it's about like Zeus and stuff. And not only that, but it's, what's his name? That guy that we think is so funny from Jurassic Park. What's his name? The big statue of himself.
Oh yes,
Somebody
that
tell
guy.
me. What's his name?
He's in Thor Ragnarok, right? Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. Kay Lee says, I love Chaos, but it might be a little too raunchy for the kids at this point. Right. And I was just kind of like, come on, guys. Like we could have just toned it back just a touch. And also like was disjointed. Like it didn't seem like it needed it, but it was like trying to be edgy. And that was actually one of my own like personal critiques of it, was like it was trying too hard to be something that it didn't really need to be, to kind of emphasize. I do love like how they were so
Jeff Goldblum, that's it.
Jeff Goldblum, yes, and he's great in it. Like he's so funny. He's just himself whenever he does anything, and it's just like so funny. But he's Zeus, and I love that they don't. It's like a tongue in cheek. They don't hold back on like how horrible these Greek god, like how they are. Like they're just terrible. Like he's terrible and very casually terrible. And then that can be kind of very scary because you see these like very tense, horrible things that they do that you would not like. There's some things with like an animal that you would not like at all, because I know you. But anyway, I was entertained by it, but it was fleeting. So these series that I like binge watch, I will love them so much for those like 6 hours and then forget them completely the next day. So I don't know.
That's why if I make a show, it's not going to be like all at once.
Oh yeah, you want to go back to old school?
No,
releases?
Yeah, I want to release it every week.
Yeah, try it. That's how my childhood was.
I mean, yeah, it's the best way to do it because then you get people like talking about their theories for the next episode and stuff. It's so cool.
Was Chaos released like that? I know some things are, and I just watched Chaos like last 2 weeks ago.
Also, not like 6 to 8 episodes. Like I'd rather have it like at least 12.
Yeah. Well, and so when I was a kid, it was usually like 22 to 24.
Yeah.
And then it was a big deal like 15 years ago. I think it was HBO that started doing it, where they put out like a 10 episode series. And the BBC, I think, did it for a long time as well in their own sort of realm. And I feel like American entertainment wasn't as connected to like BBC entertainment as it is now that we have so many like online channels and resources. But HBO started doing it, and everybody was like, oh my goodness, HBO is doing this thing. Like 10 episodes. This is so brilliant. This is so interesting. And then that really changed everything. And then that's like that's all Netflix does, I think. Mandy says, I've heard Percy Jackson is amazing for queer and diverse characters. Is that true?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that part about it.
Yeah. As I was saying before, it's very inclusive.
It's very inclusive. It's amazing.
And also Rick Riordan, I just feel like he's very He really tries to get, like, I know he has other book series that he doesn't write, and he's trying to like elevate other voices, which I think is really great. Right?
Yeah.
Kaylee says, but the series was good. Yeah, you got to meet the actors. Like,
It was amazing. I loved this series. It was a little bit different from the books, but I was okay with it.
Yeah.
It was good. I loved it.
Yeah, and Bailey is a very strong critic, so she would tell you if she had any issues with it. But no, they really look forward to it.
Yes, I'm really excited about the next season.
Lauren Elizabeth wants to know: is there a lot of mythology in the books?
Yes, but it's explained. So if you don't understand it already, or like if you don't like, I already kind of like knew a little bit about Greek mythology before getting into it. I think that was helpful.
Mm-hmm.
But they do explain it a lot throughout the book. So if you have trouble with that, it should be okay.
Lauren Elizabeth wants to know what tea I am drinking. I'm drinking Good Earth. I'm kind of off caffeine right now. It's making me feel very jittery if I have even green tea right now. So, but Good Earth is very good. It's like a cinnamon.
I love
herbal.
caffeine.
Cat Pizza wants to know if we're getting their comments, and yes, we are. Aiden says, I think you would like Greek mythology. Yeah, I was also in a play when I was in 6th grade. I always really liked Greek mythology, but again, I forget things. And I was
Orpheus and Eurydice is my favorite Greek myth.
So good.
It's so good.
Bailey's gonna start singing Hades Town for
yes,
you.
I love Hades Town so much. It's so good.
Yes. I was in a play when I was in 6th grade called The Clash of the Titans. And I haven't really seen the movie, but I'm guessing they're similar. And I was Queen Cassiopeia. And anyway, so I always really liked Greek mythology. And that was a big deal for me. I liked being in that play. It's a good childhood memory. Okay. Carm says, have you seen the behind the scenes of Percy season 2 and the casting for, and this is, I don't know exactly how to pronounce it. I know Talia is how I would normally say it, but
yeah, I always pronounced
Thalia?
it Talia it's so confusing. So when I was reading the books, I called her Talia in my head. I think the movies also called her Talia, which I don't know. And then the musical called her Talia, but then the show called her Thalia. So I'm like, what is going on? What is the real thing?
And Rick Riordan is like a major producer on the show.
So it's confusing for me. I don't know.
Do you have any response to the casting for Talia or Thalia and Tyson?
No, I think they look great. Yeah.
She looked at them yesterday. Well, she looked at the Thalia. Was Tyson announced before?
Yeah.
I'm
very excited. Tyson actually is my favorite character in the first Percy Jackson series, but I think the further into the series we get, Percy's like slowly became my favorite character,
Yeah.
So,
I think that's really cool because you don't feel the same way like with Harry Potter.
Yeah, I don't like Harry Potter as much as the other characters in Harry Potter.
So it's cool to have the actual like
the main character.
Yeah. Be your main character. Let's see. Lauren Elizabeth says, when you have free time, do you usually go to write to reading, or do you switch it up and write some things too?
It really just depends on my mood. Like sometimes I don't even want to do either of those things. I just want to draw. Or sometimes I just want to sit there and just like stare at a wall.
It's a fun activity.
It's one of the best. Yeah, I don't know. It just really depends on what my mood is. Yeah. I love sometimes when I have free time I read, but sometimes I just switch it up and write. And then sometimes I draw. Sometimes I don't do anything. Sometimes I do puzzles. It's like whatever I feel like I'm doing. Yeah.
Let's see. Do you have a certain topic you'd like to study in college?
I think musical theater. Yeah. Maybe screenwriting, but I'm not. I think those are the things.
That's awesome. And then Bailey, have you listened to Epic, the musical from MJ, aka Margaret?
No, actually, I haven't. I've heard of it. I want to listen to it. I haven't listened to it.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard it either, but it sounds familiar, so I thought maybe you knew it.
What is it about? Can someone tell me?
What is Epic the musical about? Adrian Abrahams says, Jessica, you and Chris should be so incredibly proud of your beautiful family. We are. Thank you. You're fabulous parents. I appreciate your dedication to your family and faith. Keeping you, Bailey. You're a gem. Thank you. Elizabeth Wood says,
I keep accidentally shaking the table.
I know. I've been wondering about that too. Me too.
No, it's when I pick up my mug and then I put it back down. I'm sorry for making you guys dizzy.
Christopher set this up, and it's a computer that's like perched on a thing to make it higher. But it's like, wow. It's like, anyway, if your family has, Elizabeth Wood says, if your family hasn't, your whole family should read the Wing Feather Saga. It's a good series. It's by Andrew Peterson.
I've actually never heard of that one before.
I've heard it. I don't hear it as often, but I've gotten this recommendation before. So maybe by Elizabeth.
I've got a whole list of book recommendations, and I've never seen that one before.
Okay, Wing Feather Saga. I'll text it to you really quick.
Yeah, I'll put that on my long list.
Yeah, talk about things for a second while I text this to you.
Okay. Gabby Splatoon fan says, have you read The Hobbit? I have read The Hobbit. I have not read The Lord of the Rings yet. I don't know why, but I probably should do that. That's the whole reason I read The Hobbit in the first place, was so that I could read The Lord of the Rings, but then I just read The Hobbit. So
Nicole says, like, I love Marvel, but I refuse to watch Deadpool. I don't know if that's kind of about what I was saying about with chaos, but I saw the first Deadpool movie, and it's been a while. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I think, man, I had such a strong reaction to whatever movie. Maybe if I watch it again, I'll like it because so many people like it. But I did not like Deadpool at all. Like, angry. I didn't like it.
I've not seen Deadpool. I've seen a lot of Marvel stuff, though. I really like Loki. That's probably my favorite thing that Marvel has probably ever done.
Yeah, Bailey loves Loki.
I love Loki.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's so good. You have to see it. It's so good.
I know. She's even sat me down and like tried to get me to watch it.
I've tried so many times. It's so good.
I'm not a huge Marvel fan though.
No, but
I like
this
some
is different
Marvel
than a lot of Marvel stuff. It's all about like time travel, and
it really, when you describe it, I'm like, yes, I would love that. And then it starts off and it's like Loki and stuff. I'm like, this is Marvel. You tricked me.
No. The very beginning scene of the first episode is showing a scene from Endgame. So that
sounds like Marvel.
No, yes, it is Marvel. It's actually Marvel. Okay, Mom. So the first episode starts it's like a scene from Endgame where they went back in time, and I think something happened with the Tesseract. I can't remember. It's been a while.
Is this spoilers? This feels like kind of spoilery. Just warn it. Just be like,
sorry, spoilers, everyone, for Endgame. I think some Marvel thing. So basically, and Infinity War. No, not Infinity. It's not Infinity War. It's Endgame and then the original Avengers movie. So in the original Avengers movie, basically, there's like, wow, I don't remember this scene very well, but at the very beginning, at the end of the movie,
yes,
they like arrest Loki or something because he was like the villain of the whole first Avengers movie.
Yes.
But then instead, during Endgame, they like knock the Tesseract over, which like controls time or something. I don't remember. But basically, or maybe it's teleportation. I don't remember what the Tesseract does. But basically, Loki grabbed it and escaped.
Okay. And then it goes around time.
And then the Time Variance Authority, the TVA.
Okay.
They were like, you weren't supposed to do that. You just messed up the timeline.
Yeah.
So they took him to the...
And did they go to Lisbon? So here's the thing. I love apocalyptic things. I love apocalyptic movies. Like, I am very fascinated by like major world apocalyptic events. Like,
that's only the first season. I'm sorry.
What's the even point?
No, because the whole apocalypse thing is just that's in the first season. The second season is a lot of just like the timeline just being completely destroyed and everyone turning into spaghetti.
Okay, all you're telling me is that it's not worth getting invested in.
No,
this
it
show.
is!
Because if I actually
You
do
need
start
the
liking
spaghetti!
it, why I need the spaghetti. All right.
So
I love you.
Can you guys help me out here? Like,
Help me.
please
Convince me for the spaghetti.
convince
I don't know.
her
I
to
just
watch Loki, please.
I feel like I have to be like in the mood for it because I feel like I don't know what it is. I have this thing where I'm a little bit rebellious when somebody tells me to do something. And it's funny because I'm the queen of telling other people to do some things where I'm like, oh, you have to see this movie. You have to do the show. Have you seen this yet? You know, like I do that all the time. And for some reason, when sometimes it gets said to me, I'm like, that's now the last thing I will ever do.
No.
But not always. And I feel I'm being irrationally cruel to you. And I feel like that's what I'm saying. Like,
it is. It's irrationally cruel.
I don't really like Loki. I don't really like Marvel. And it looks like it's like a lot of Lokis and then a lot of Marvel, like right when I start. And I think that throws me off, but I want to approach it with an open mind. So I will try. This is my goal. All right. So I'm sorry. I apologize. I really want to watch this show so bad.
Please watch it.
I know. I need to. I want to watch it. I will. Okay. MJAK Margaret says Epic the Musical is an adaptation of the Odyssey, which I feel I've heard
The
this.
Odyssey?
Yeah.
That's a Odysseus, right? I don't remember.
So,
it's been a while.
like the Iliad and the Odyssey.
Yeah.
Okay. So we should look
I actually read the Odyssey when I was like 11 or 10, something like that. I don't remember it that well, but yeah.
MJAK Margaret says they're in mythology class. And Gabby says Hadestown is amazing.
It is.
Oh, and this is all when we were talking about Hadestown.
Hadestown's probably my favorite musical.
It's very good.
It's so good. I love other musicals too, like Hamilton and Into the Woods, Matilda. Those are my other favorites.
Becky says, Jess, would you let Bailey read The Hunger Games if she hasn't already seen the films? Oh,
I've read The Hunger Games. I've seen all the movies.
Bailey read The Hunger Games years ago.
Yeah, before I read Percy Jackson.
How old were you? Were you 12?
I was 12, yeah. Or I think I started when I was 11, then I turned 12.
Yeah.
Like while I was reading.
And we're not always perfect with it, but we do try to read the books first anyway.
Yeah, I didn't watch the movies till I was maybe 13.
Mm-hmm. And the books for like most things, we try to read them first. Not everything, but we try. Let's see. Sydney Templeton says, have you guys watched the Mysterious Benedict Society series? Oh, it's heartbreaking question.
It's so sad. Okay. I'm so mad that they took it off Disney Plus because it was so good. Like it was so beautiful too. Like all the costume designs and the buildings and everything, the sets, so beautiful. And it was perfect. It was like the perfect adaptation. It was nothing like the books, but it was perfect.
It's really great. It had a great cast, and it was really like aesthetically like so interesting and well done. And very sad. It's just gone.
Yeah, and they ended it on a cliffhanger too. The second season. And
how much
it was.
Oh
no, I've drank like most of this already.
Maybe I should have had some caffeine because now you had a whole pot of tea in like 20 minutes. Oh, you guys are gonna see Mega Bailey.
I'm always Mega Bailey.
You are. Nicole says our cat is Hermione Granger.
Oh, awesome! My dog is Rue.
Yeah, from Rue.
Hunger Games.
Rue is named from the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
That's what Bailey, since we have all boys except for me and Bailey.
I got to name my little sister dog.
Yeah, Rue is coming into our home as our female representation. And Bailey got to get her name, to choose her name. Okay, Epic is good, says Gabby. What's your favorite tea ever? Do you have a favorite tea?
Boba.
Sorry, but there's so many flavors of tea within boba.
All of the boba.
All the boba. Boba is very good. I wouldn't consider it a tea as much as like an accessory to tea.
No, it's tea because there's tea and then there's the boba. And
okay.
It's good.
And I don't have a favorite. I have tea moods.
I like, it depends also. I like jasmine boba.
Yeah, jasmine tea is really good. We like enmaicha tea.
Oh yes,
the two of us.
very good. I like what is the Thai tea with boba is also
so
really good.
Thai tea is so good. All right.
And sometimes coffee with boba. That's not tea. But
Bailey's favorite tea is coffee.
I'm just stretching it a
with
little
boba.
Bit. Coffee boba. That's my all-time favorite tea, I gotta say.
Lorax's Life says, "Oh my goodness, I just got the book on the thumbnail in the mail. This book. There, you can hold it.
Yes.
I just got into Percy Jackson universe in May, and I've read everything since, besides Magnus Chase.
Magnus Chase is amazing. Okay, actually read it. I haven't gotten
Magnus Chase and those spin-off series.
The spin-off series?
Wait, go ahead, convince about Magnus Chase.
Okay, wait, which spin-off series?
Yeah,
I
was wondering that as well.
Because there's like the King Chronicles, which is like it's kind of its own thing, but there is a crossover short story that I haven't read yet. But actually, I did read it because it was like an extra thing on the back of it. Like came with one of the books that
was it a whole book though, or was it just a sample?
There were 2 short stories, and I think they're both in the book. I honestly don't know. But what was the other thing? Oh yeah, Magnus Chase. Very good. It's about Norse mythology. I think it's a little more violent than the other books, but no, that's a lie. I was like, nobody dies. Nope, the main character dies in like the first chapter.
Spoilers.
It's the first sentence. It's like, this was the day I died or something. Okay. I don't know.
All right.
I don't actually remember.
You have to say spoilers before you do the spoiler, though. That's my
No.
So far, we've been doing them all after. Okay.
Just, I just spoiled it for you guys. Sorry.
That was just the last sentence of the book. It was just one sentence, just the last one of the book.
The first one.
I know. I was just joking. You're just like, it's just one. Okay, let's see. MJAK Margaret is saying, I think this is about epic. It's so good, and it is mythology, and it is very much like Percy Jackson and Hadestown and also Hamilton.
Okay, I need to see this.
Yeah. All right, we've got to figure that out. Let's see. Have you read the series of Unfortunate Events?
Yes. I've got to say that TV show also one of the best adaptations.
Wait, because there are multiple TV shows, aren't there?
There's a movie and a TV show. Okay. I haven't seen the movie, but I love the TV show. It's so good.
It's the Neil Patrick Harris.
Yes, the only TV show.
Well, just to clarify, because some people need a little more information. Neil Patrick Harris is
Count Olaf.
I was like, not Lemony Snicket. What do I say? All right. But yes, Bailey did love that a lot. Which of the kids have seen it? Parker and I?
Parker, Jake, and me. Mm-hmm. I've seen most of it, but they've seen like 4 episodes.
Cat Pizza wants to know about Winnie the Pooh. Have you ever tried to read Winnie the Pooh or watched Winnie the Pooh's Grand Adventure? If not, highly recommend it.
I've seen Winnie the Pooh's Grand Adventure.
Yes.
And I read it a long time ago.
And actually, Luke just discovered Winnie the Pooh movies like last week or the week before, and he was really into them. It was very, very cute. And I think Christopher's read Winnie the Pooh to you guys, right?
Yes.
Yeah. When they were little. So Christopher tries to read, he's not doing it right now, but a lot of the kids' lifetimes, he tries to read like old classic books to them for their bedtime stories. And Winnie the Pooh was a favorite of his. JJ Smith says, I wanted to like Deadpool because everyone does, but I can't get into it. Right? I don't like it at all. At least I didn't. Maybe I don't remember it, but the things I remember, I'm like, yeah, I really don't like that. I'm not a big fan of like merging hero and villain. Like I like my heroes to be like hero people, like to be like deeply good people. And I feel like Deadpool was more of like part of the theme to
I
that.
Like it when they're the villain at the beginning and then become a better person throughout the whole thing.
Sure. Like I like that too, but like
that's what I like about Loki.
Yeah, and I could be wrong because honestly, it's been a long time. But I feel like Deadpool was like, I'm a person who has a lot of abilities, or I don't know how he got his abilities, but he like had a lot of stuff he could do, but he was like awful, and that was supposed to be funny.
I also like that about Despicable Me, how he's like wanted to be a villain in the beginning and then became a better person.
Spoilers.
I'm sorry. I'm really bad at this, you guys.
Teresa just got the new book today as well. Can't wait to start reading. Right now, I'm rereading the Aragon book series as a 5th book came out for that. I've always wanted you to read that series.
I've always wanted to read it too. I don't know why I haven't gotten into that either.
That was one of the options at the library summer reading program, right? But you guys nobody chose the Aragon books?
No, there was one Aragon book and it was like the last one or something.
Yeah.
So
I have like the 3rd one, I think, and it's like been on our shelf forever. And
I have the first one. I don't know why I haven't read it yet.
The first Read it. I don't know if this is true or not, but at the time when I was reading those books, which was a long time ago, I thought I had read that it was originally written by a 15-year-old homeschooler. And I always thought that was like the coolest, especially since Bailey was like really into writing. But I don't know how old he would have been when he finished or what, but I just always thought that was really neat. Cassandra couldn't get through the 2nd season of Loki, Bailey.
The 2nd season's even better than the first one, especially like the last few episodes. Okay, now
you've given me something to like hope for.
Yeah, it's so good.
All right.
I'd say the last episode is just absolutely incredible, especially the first half of the last episode's amazing. Okay.
You've given me now that's all I needed to hear. I need to hear there was like reason to watch.
Yes, there is reason.
Okay.
It's very good. It's so good. I love Loki.
And then Lorax's Life is asking, did you guys watch the first 2 episodes of Agatha all along? Which you did. I haven't.
I watched the first 2 episodes. Yeah, it was good. I am looking forward to the rest of the show.
Let's see. Have you read the series of Unfortunate Events? Yes. We already did that one, right?
Yes.
Cedric wants to know what we're talking about because they just
everything. We were supposed to be talking about Percy
and you
Jackson.
Can whatever you want.
We're just talking about whatever anyone wants us to talk about.
The focus is that this book just got released today, and Bailey got it, and we are doing a celebratory live stream because it is very exciting.
I am very excited.
Let's see. Marvel and look. I'm just kind of reading through here trying to find something. Kaylee says, Jessica, have you seen Arrival with Amy Adams? Literally one of the best movies I've ever seen. Okay, so I vaguely remember that. Yes, I have seen that.
I have not.
But it has not made the impact of it being the best movie I've ever seen. I feel like, I don't really want to say this because I don't know for sure, but I feel like I was like, about the ending, but that could be lies. I don't know. It feels like a long time ago when I saw that, like 4 or 5 years ago, maybe. Okay. C Love is saying, just saying hi. I love your family. Thanks for being a comforting, safe space. Yay. Thank you. Thank you for saying hi. Carm says, Lore Olympus graphic novels are on my TBR, but haven't gotten around to checking them out. Have you seen or read them?
A Lore Olympus? Not that I know of. No.
Bailey does like graphic novels, but
I mostly like graphic novel adaptations of books I've already read. So I've read all the Percy Jackson graphic novels. They were pretty good. And the Heroes of Olympus ones, not the last one. The new one that just came out, I'm very excited about. I have not read it yet. But I've read all the rest of them. Mark of Athena was my favorite, I think, out of all the graphic novels. I was annoyed that they skipped like multiple scenes in the middle that I was excited about seeing in graphic novel form, but whatever.
So this person says you should check out the Wing Feather Saga if you haven't already. Was that the same one as the other one or different? Okay. Possibly a little below Bailey's reading level, but they're good books. I don't think that matters. Do you think that matters?
Nothing is below my reading level. Also, nothing is above my reading level.
Yes. Bailey is all-encompassing reading levels. She's omnipresent. I'm glad you watched it before they took it off. I'm still mad. Oh, I
am mad too.
That's about
what's the thing? Mysterious Benedict Society. Oh, it was so good.
Yeah, so good. Tarot / tea with boba, says somebody. Cassandra asked if we have a Sonic, and I don't think we do. Like, I don't know where the nearest Sonic. I think it's a burger store. Like,
I want a burger right now.
There's some apple drink with caramel boba in it. Like I've heard people talk about a Sonic before, and I don't really know if it's like 7-Eleven or if it's like
In-N-Out.
Yeah, if it's like In-N-Out.
I love In-N-Out.
I don't know what it is, but I've heard people say words like that before. C Love says, "Have you watched Lock and Key? I feel like it would be right up your alley. Sort of modern Goonies with a bit of Stranger Things. Does it have an E at the end of Lock? I feel like it's names, maybe like Lock and Key. Because I don't think I've seen it, but maybe I looked into it or started. I don't know, but no. But I'll pay more attention to it if I see it, if it pops up into my radar. I don't really know what it is, but it sounds familiar. Let's see. I have not read Kane Chronicles yet, says Lorax's
Me
Life.
neither. Read the first book. Like I said
earlier. Emma wants to change this to a mature live stream and is asking if we can talk ACOTAR.
I mean, I can.
I know you both read them recently. Okay. Yes, we absolutely can. We can talk about lots of things, but we won't talk about, this is still not going to be a mature live stream. That was just me making a little joke. But ACOTAR, we have not finished.
We've not finished yet.
Yeah.
Which one did I just finish? The pink one.
Yeah, you finished the third.
Yeah.
I finished the fourth, and I'm like trudging along.
I can't
on the last
get through the fourth one. It's really hard for me.
It's the Christmas special. It's a Christmas special. That's what I heard. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna approach it as a Christmas special because there isn't really any conflict or like.
I don't know. I'm like maybe 50 pages in, and nothing's happening.
Yeah, and I'm on. That's how her books always are. Like the first 50 pages, you're like, okay,
100 pages really.
To read this.
No,
and then they
the Court of Mist and Fury was like almost torturous to get through the first like 100 pages, but after that, it was like, this is so good. Well,
and I feel like it's actually is important. Like the fact that it's unbearable in the beginning is like important to the storytelling.
Yeah.
So I can appreciate that.
Yeah, I honestly, it feels like a storytelling technique almost.
Right. Like I'm willing to give her credit for it. Be like, wow, what a brilliant writer with that. But then she does it in all of her books, and I'm like,
like if you'd made it like easy to get through the first book and the third book, I would have been able to appreciate that it was so tedious at the beginning of the second book. But like, no.
So anyway, because that's the thing. Then you're all embarrassed because you're like, this is what we do. I'm like, oh, this book isn't very good, or like this is painful to get through. And then like it gets so good, and the next day you're like, actually, this is the best book ever, and I just read the whole thing in 5 seconds. But yeah, I don't know. I can't remember what's the book called that I'm reading?
The one with the mask on the front that's orange. A Court of Silver Flames.
Silver Flames.
I got it. I don't know what my pink one's called, but I know what hers is called.
Yeah. I don't know what it's called either. I wonder if people are saying it. I don't know. We're talking about something that nobody else has read, I think. That's what's going on. Women deserve better, says Cassandra. Okay. Cassandra, has your friend read the second book? I'm just curious. I'm just going to say that one. No spoilers. I'm not going to spoilers. But I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Getting caught up. And we'll talk more about ACOTAR if anybody has any questions.
Yeah, if you guys have questions about ACOTAR.
We're just like, I think we were at a point where we were like, this is all we want to talk about. And then like, we're kind of like, we moved on and now I've forgotten everything. Kind of. Cassandra says, do not watch the Aragon movie. Yeah, that movie didn't do very well, huh? I didn't see it, I don't think, but it looked funky, I think, in the ad. Marianne says, hi from the UK. So glad I caught your live. Hi, glad you're here. Superman or Batman? Oh, just throwing in the tough question. Batman. Okay. Ever since the movie Superman versus Batman, I can no longer like Batman because he was just so painfully obnoxious. So I'm a Superman.
I didn't see that. I've literally seen pretty much no DC. I know you're
better off. I don't know that other ones aren't good, but
I've seen the Lego Batman, and I like Batman and that.
Every 5 seconds is like a flashback to Pearls dropping on the ground and being like, and he's like really just mopey and whiny, and like he's like whiny rich guy.
I saw the one before the Dark Knight, but I haven't seen the Dark Knight yet. I want to see the Dark Knight.
Yeah, did you guys? Because didn't we start it? Because Dad like desperately wants to watch it with you guys, and it seems like you never want to watch it. Or maybe is it too scary for some?
It was Jacob.
Yeah,
Jacob
I wasn't gonna call him out.
No, I'm calling him out. I wanted to watch the rest of it. I'm really mad at him.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure maybe if you express that to Dad, if we get it in the evening, he really wants to watch it. But Jacob doesn't like watching dark content in the evenings.
Or ever.
Ever, really. He'd rather not. He'd rather watch comedies. And then like he'll watch things like I think Saving Private Ryan, like that doesn't bother him in the same way.
I didn't like Saving Private Ryan.
I know, but what I'm saying is like I don't know that was too much for him. Like it's just like I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like we got different things. Like he's fine with like the gore of Saving Private Ryan, I guess, and I don't like that, but I like when things are creepy, and he doesn't like that.
No, he does not. Absolutely not. Okay, let me get caught up.
Yeah, I like more like creepy or like psychological stuff. That's fun.
Pilar says, I know you're very mature for your age, Bailey. Would you consider reading Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers? I could not put that book down. Love y'all.
I've never heard of that one.
Yeah. I feel like I'm trying to remember which one Redeeming Love was, because I think I read it like in high school or college. And I can't remember. Is that the one that has the trilogy? Or I feel like it's the other one that was really popular of hers. I don't know that Bailey would like those books, but I could be wrong. You should definitely check them out. They're like they're very like they're a Christian author, and it's very like a Christian perspective, and a lot of times like relating it to like kind of putting a modern perspective on like biblical stories. But I think it would frustrate you because you like, I could be wrong, but I think you like strong women. And I found like even the trilogy, like it's, and maybe that's what a Redeeming Love is, but it's like about this woman who kind of like consistently forgives and like this man who's awful, like awful. Like it was really hard for me to be like, So I don't know. I think you might be frustrated.
Are you sure that's the same series?
I can't remember. I read them at the same time, so I feel it was called like Mark of the Lion, maybe. But I feel like
we have that book.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know.
The one that's based in like Rome or something.
Yeah, I can't remember. I read it so long ago, but I remember it just being hard for me at the time. And I don't know if right now you like a lot of people really love those books. And I don't remember them. And I feel like my perspective would be really different reading them even now. And I don't know that you would like them, but maybe could be. I honestly can't remember them that well. Bailey, what would you think of doing vlogs on your channel?
I'm not opposed to the idea. I'm just busy.
Yeah, she's a busy lady. Would you? I'm following that up because that's interesting. I feel like Bailey's edited a few videos like years ago, and she.
That's the thing. Easily. I love filming videos. I don't like editing them.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I like adding the music and sound effects and doing fun editing stuff, but I don't like editing it like normally. It's very tedious, and I don't want to do it.
Well, I have to say, like, I was really impressed when you did do it because it was years ago and you were very young and you hadn't really had any training and you just like picked it up and you reminded me more than like anybody else. Maybe Parker's like this, but you reminded me very much of your Aunt Colleen, Auntie Panties, because she like is so fast and it's just very natural and she just like zips through it and like gets it done. And she's always really impressed me with how she does it. And you reminded me of that because I feel like for me and Daddy and Jacob, it's more of like a stressful thing a little bit, or not.
I started doing Instagram though a little bit. I'm planning on doing it more.
Yeah, but I feel like and Daddy loves editing, like he loves editing. But I also feel like we all, the three of me, Daddy, Jacob, we put like it's hard for us to do it like at a time. Like we're really focused and really intense, and I feel like you just like kind of speed through it in the way that. And Parker's like that too. Like they just pick it up like it's like breathing, so like natural. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what you want to do and if that develops. Kaylee says, "Is anyone in the family into reading or writing poetry?"
I write poetry occasionally, but it's not good.
Do you like reading poetry?
No, unless I like limericks. sometimes. But not really. I mean, actually, Edgar Allan Poe's poetry is pretty good. That's about it. I don't really like reading poetry, but I write it sometimes for whatever reason.
Kelsey Early says, you are the one who got our family into the Percy Jackson books and homeschooling. That is wild. That is wild to think that we like had at least even a part of that influence on a family.
Crazy.
That's a big deal. Very, very cool. But that's wild. Kind of Don Noel says, I think Colleen mentioned one is like an hour away from her. It's an old drive-up style burger place with tater tots, Sonic. Maybe they have one in LA. Maybe that's what she was talking about. I don't know. I love tater tots though. You had me at tater tots. Lock and Key was filmed a couple hours from us. That's really cool. Cool. Okay, let me catch up. Oh, C Love says, oh wow, Nicole, your landscape is so beautiful then. I love that. I have a friend who does, yeah, okay, we read that one. Carm says, I liked ACOTAR books 2 and 3, the others not so much. Those are good books.
The second and third ones were definitely the best ones that I've read. Like the first one felt more like a prequel than anything to the rest of the series.
And then Emma says, and Throne of Glass series is even better. And that's what I keep hearing. Like every single person, I think, has said that series is even better. So we have to get on that.
Yeah. I think they have them at the library, but they're always checked out. They're really hard to find.
Cassandra says, I love when Jessica roasts movies. I don't have like a lot of filter and I feel really bad, especially as I've gotten older and I've been like, wow, like so much goes into each production. Like so much goes into it, right? Like for the actors, like they're putting a piece of themselves into it, but not just that, like every person within a production, like puts so much. And I just want to just like have a strong opinion. And then I'm like, oh, I really don't want to hurt somebody who like really worked on that.
I always feel bad about that too, especially since I like want to start making TV shows and movies someday. But like, I don't know. Sometimes I just say things that come out of my mouth.
I think it's important to like talk about your opinions on things too, but I also like the other end of it where I'm like, oh, like I've seen it now. Like I've seen the work that people put into these things and their lives that they invest for months and months or years. And like, that feels really awful, but I also just like want to be like Batman versus Superman was the worst. So I don't know. User YouTube says Francine Rivers' books is the best. So Hadassah, yeah, I remember that was the girl's name that they follow in that trilogy. I don't know. I'll have to pick them up again. Let's see. Oh, CK says, shame on you. Give them privacy. Bailey, do you have privacy?
What?
Do you have any privacy? They're shaming us for not giving you privacy right now.
I have privacy.
Yeah, I think privacy is such an interesting thing. I feel like talking about setting your own boundaries is really important, and like deciding what privacy you want or like what you want to share is important, even in this day and age for all kids. Like I feel like it's important to establish like this is why you share this or don't share whatever you're sharing. So I think it's a discussion, not something to just shame people for. But you do you. Stay strong in your beliefs. Let's see. Jared says, I'm Jared. C Love says, oh my gosh, Zoe Lewis, the WB Harry Potter set tour is amazing. Maybe are you the person that sent me that message? That somebody was telling me that the WB set tour is just so great and that we need to do it. And I already had forgotten to like set that up. So can you remind me?
I do that. Yeah.
Yeah. We were on the Sony lot seeing Ghostbusters. And we were told like you have to go also to the WB lot. And the Sony lot was really cool.
It was awesome. Yeah, we were like right before we were like walking through like a full on like set town or something. I don't know. Really cool. I don't know what it was, but it looked like stores.
Yeah.
And like houses. And it was like, whoa.
Yeah, it's so neat. So neat. We love doing behind the scenes stuff, like in general. I just think it's a really good way to have educate and to share how things work with young people. So I love doing stuff like that. Someone wants to know if we've read the Red Rising series. I've never heard of that. Have you? Zoe was talking about the one in London. Is there one here? Okay, so that's the Harry Potter set tour in London.
I feel like, isn't there one in LA?
So yeah, so we have a WB studio tour. And I feel like I was told recently that they have a Harry Potter section in LA. So I could be wrong. And if anybody wants to clarify, that's fine. But I feel like they said that there is like it's probably nowhere near what they have in London, because I know London's tour is supposed to be
I
great.
think we almost went to the one in London. We were like thinking about it when we were in London, but we didn't have time.
Yeah. Yes.
I wish we had.
Well, I think it's a distance. Like I think it's a bit of a train ride.
Oh yeah, I think it was either that or Matilda, and then we saw Matilda instead.
Good choice.
It was a good choice. Matilda is absolutely incredible, and
so good.
Man, if I hadn't seen that, I don't think that was like the thing that made me want to start doing theater, was seeing Matilda in London. And if I hadn't have seen that, I think my whole life, it's like an alternate universe kind of thing, where it's like my whole life would have been very different. Not for the better.
That is wild. I don't know, Bailey. I think you still would have stumbled into musical theater. I can't imagine you not. You were already kind of into musical theater.
I was already kind of into it, but like I didn't decide like, I need to do this. Like, no, this is what I have to do.
You were more into like writing at that age,
yeah.
I think. Yeah. Wow. That is wild. Kimberly wants to know, have you ever read The Boy in the Striped Pajamas?
I have. I think it was like a few years ago. I don't remember it very well. It was very sad. And the main character was annoying.
If you're looking for, I just watched such a great documentary. I have to look up the name every time, because a bunch of documentaries have like the same names. And The Boy in the Striped Pajama obviously is like more for a younger crowd than what I'm about to say. But Hitler and the Nazis, Evil on Trial on Netflix.
Oh yeah, I saw a few episodes of that.
Super good. I wish you had watched it all with me. Like I want to like reel you back in on that eventually.
I don't really like documentaries, but that one was really interesting.
It's really good, but definitely mature. Like there's understandable, like it's the same as if you'd go to like a museum on the Holocaust history, like you would see like full frontal nudity, but there's also a lot of like the graphic violence, like very graphic, violent, like just so tragic things that are shown in the documentary. So I just want to like throw that out there as far as like, trigger warnings and age warnings and stuff, but so good. And I'd love for like right now, Jacob and Bailey to both watch it, but they weren't as interested when I was watching it. So I don't know. I'll have to rewatch it soon with them. And Bailey watched some of it. And then Parker, I don't think he's old enough for it yet. Like, I think I would watch it with him, but I think it would give him nightmares and stuff. Like, I think it would really maybe bother him, because he's 11. So I don't think I would do it for 11, but high school, such a good series. And I really what I liked about it was that it looked at like the rise of Hitler, and it went back like even before he was born, and was like telling the history of the area. And then it just like, it went throughout the time period. And I feel like it really connected a lot of things, because you often see things like, you'll see like The Sound of Music, which is in Austria. And then you see, see stories about Auschwitz, or like I just read, what was that book? The Warsaw Orphan, which was about like, it was about the ghetto in Warsaw. And everything's always like in its own piece, like in its own places. Or even, what's that movie that we both love, the Italian one?
Oh, Life is Beautiful.
Life is Beautiful. So like, and then that's a piece of the story, but like it really went out and like talked about what was going on everywhere, and pieced everything together in like timelines. And it just helped my brain a lot for like piecing together the history. And I really, really enjoyed it. Okay, let's see. Cassandra went to dinner. I hope it's good for you, Cassandra. I hope it's yummy. Do any of us know when Percy season 2 probably comes out?
Okay,
It's like the big question.
That is the big question. I'm hoping next year because I know they just started filming. I think it'll probably be out next year, maybe in the summer. I don't know. I hope so.
Yeah. I know it's London, says Zoe. They're talking about the Harry Potter tour. Have an amazing time. Yay. Yeah, I've heard that it's really cool. If you can book the early slot as it gets busy later in the day. Yeah, very cool and very popular. Do you like Doctor Who, says Zoe Lewis?
I want to. I haven't seen it yet. A lot of people have told me
Didn't we watch the first episode?
No, you watched it with Jacob.
Terrible. Yeah, I don't know. I
really want to watch it.
Yeah.
But we're in the middle of like a million shows right now.
We do that.
Yeah.
And Doctor Who's a big investment.
It is. Yeah. We can't even get past like one season of some shows.
And someone on here, Mithla is her handle on here, has even gone like patiently given me like the order of when to watch it and like how to do it. And it's like, hey, that season isn't as important, or like that, whatever is, you don't have to do that one. And I just keep not watching it. So I don't know. I've watched the first one like so many times in an attempt to get into it. And when I say the first one, I don't even mean the first one. I mean something with a bunch of mannequins, I think. I'm just like, okay. So I know I would love it. I just haven't done it.
I really want to watch it. I like it. I think it's time travel, right? I like time travel stuff. Sometimes it's too much for my brain, but I do like time travel sometimes, especially when it like sets some clear rules for time travel and it makes sense. That's what I really liked about Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, and what I really didn't like about Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I haven't seen the Cursed Child yet. I really want to, but I read the script like 3 times. They made these very clear rules in the Prisoner of Azkaban, and they kind of broke them all in the Cursed Child.
Yeah, I think it's going to be in LA though.
I know. I really want to see it. I want to see it so bad.
Hopefully, we'll see. We'll see what we can do. But I know Bailey really wants to go to that.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Aw. Oh, dang it.
You drank all your tea. Oh, tea beast. I love that for you. Okay, we've got some good questions up here. Jacqueline has some homeschooling questions. And I think we'll definitely talk about that right now and address your questions. But I think I'm hoping to make a video that's a little bit more about homeschooling and like what we're doing now and how we're doing it, and going into like just better detail in the near future. We'll see. That one might not be enough to answer. We'll answer more of your individual questions right now. This might be more helpful, but also we're going to do that soon. If we do miss anything today, you can feel free to like put it in comments in the future, and maybe I'll try to throw it into a future video. The question is, are you doing mostly online homeschooling classes now, or are you still doing one-on-one stuff with each kid? Planning to homeschool my little ones, and all the options are very overwhelming. So I feel like when you're first starting to homeschool, sifting through the options is like the hardest thing. It is very overwhelming. And it's so interesting that like when you can contrast that to like entering into like a public or private school kindergarten, and you're just like accepting like, oh yeah, well, whatever the teacher gives or whatever that's what they're supposed to be doing, they're doing the right thing. And then you realize like when you step out and you have all the options in the world, like how many choices there are and which one will be for your kid. And
oh wow, we've been on for like an hour.
Is that fun? I love live streaming. I always lose track of time because it's so fun. But it like the weight of it, of having to like choose what works for you and what works for your kid, is a lot. So I totally understand that. There are some programs like right now we're going into a charter, and even this was like, I felt like I was going through that again because they have a lot of like recommended curriculum sets.
I'm taking like a whole bunch of different online classes from like different things. Like I have 2 college classes. They're both online. No, actually, one of them is in person. Mm-hmm. One of them's online. And then I'm taking what else?
You take an online class.
An online government class.
You're doing driver's ed.
Driver's ed's all online too.
And then what else do we have? Trying to think. You're doing a literature studies on your own.
Yes.
So it's
all other things are on my own.
Well, and I feel like that's the thing is like you're at this high school age where you're doing like a lot of independent studies and you can choose to like go into in-person things, especially through the college. Like you have a lot of choice. And I love that. Like I think it's very, very cool.
I feel like the chat is like kind of behind.
Maybe, but
because see, this is time travel stuff from earlier.
But so the high school age, I feel like it feels like we're in a good place. The in between, like Duncan to Parker stage, is more of the one-on-one. I feel like I don't do much one-on-one with Bailey and Jacob, other than like connecting them to their high school counselor, or being like, "Hey, don't forget we have to do." You know, if you're doing driver's ed now, when are we going to do the permit test? Or like, when are we doing, are you going to sign up for the PSATs? Like, are we doing that? Like, what's the plan here? And kind of like more of like a guidance counselor position than like the individual teaching. And then we also like to watch movies and read books together and like stuff like that we'll kind of like talk about more as entertainment, and then like try to incorporate sort of deeper thought and like adult connection and experience. I feel like that's important.
What sort of things did we do recently?
Well, I want to go back. She's saying she's considering homeschooling. So I'm guessing you're more in like the Luke age. And I feel like, so all of my kids now, and this is not necessarily how most people would recommend doing it, because we have so many kids and so many different subjects and so many different needs. And it is a lot to keep up with. Like Jacob and Bailey are more independent, so that's great. But then we have Duncan and Parker, who both really, really, really like to have me talking. Like they'll come, they'll sit next to me all day long, and they just like, and they do it on their own. Like I can't be like, oh, go do that workbook. Like they love to just like be next to me as much as they can and like talk to me about stuff that they're doing. Parker is taking a class that is outside of the home with other homeschool, like it's with a homeschool mom who used to teach at Cal State LA and then other like private schools. So she's like very educated. She has her doctorate in history and women's studies. And she teaches the kids history for that age. And that is really cool to be able to do. And then they come home and they have like homework and assignments and stuff. And then I'm there for that, just kind of like how you would in a typical school setting, I think, more or less. And then we have Luke, who's doing really well. He's doing his TK stuff. He has online like preschool classes that he does that are really sweet. It's just like a variety of stuff. They're kind of, that's what I'm saying. Like they're all over the place. They're scattered. I like to follow our kids' interests and like be led by that, and also their needs, which means like different reading curricula, like different things depending on what they need. And then Teddy is like, man, he just turned 3, but he's like a 2-year-old. Like he's all over the place. He always has to be watched. He's just very, very, very curious and like thinks he has access to everything. Like he has not figured out any sort of like boundaries yet. He's just like, all right, grabbing this, doing this, and it's all constant.
He recently discovered popsicles in the freezer.
Yeah.
And he's been taking all the popsicles out of the freezer and eating them whenever we're not looking.
It's stuff that my other kids like never even did. Like things like he will sneak out of his nap, because he can do this like quietly. We have a baby monitor and everything. And he'll like sneak out. And we've kind of given up on naps because of this, because we were worried about his safety. But he would sneak out and run into the bathroom and turn on the bathtub. I have so many kids. I've never had a kid at 2 years old, he was 2 doing this, turn on a bathtub. Or like he'll go outside and turn on the hose and like flooding that. Like
my personal favorite was there was like this toy potty that we had, and he decided to take it out of its box. Like we hadn't even opened it yet. Yeah. And it was
it wasn't even a potty. It was like
it wasn't a potty. It was a toy. He took it out and to pee on it.
Yeah. He's just like, I think it's that he's very smart, and he's very like, he's just so fast. Like everything he's very fast. You're like cleaning up one thing, and then and I feel like people say this about toddlers and like
There
little
was
kids
no-
all the time, but I swear this is extreme. Okay, this is like the maximum level of just like you literally will be like, oh my goodness, and you're dealing with one thing, and then you turn around and there's another like bananas like thing that he's doing. So we have a lot going on at all times right now. And anyway, it's a lot. What is Bailey's experience with school growing up, says Sarah Rogers?
all over the place.
Yeah.
All of the things.
I don't really know what the question is. Like,
I don't know
with,
what that means.
Maybe
Like,
did you like it? Do you like being a homeschooler?
I do like being a homeschooler. I like it better than actual like high school. I did try doing public high school for a little bit, and then I was annoyed by it for many reasons. One of them being like I couldn't travel. That was annoying to me. Another thing was I couldn't do like harder levels of stuff. Like I was way past, I was in honors English and they wouldn't let me move up to like sophomore English or other English that was better for me.
Yeah, it was funny because she did like, I think you were like a month in or something, and she'd done all of the English assignments for the year. Like she'd read all the books. She did all the things. She was super excited about the reading list. And it was only like 5 books or something, right? 4 or 5 books.
And they were mostly short stories. They were really easy. And I was like, can I please do something harder?
Yeah.
Like, no, you can't. And so then after that, I wasn't doing public school anymore. And I just did a college class.
Yeah, which I think is a better fit.
English. And it was a lot better. It was a little challenging sometimes, but like it was easy.
I think a lot of the challenging part too was figuring out the systems.
Yeah.
Even that would have been hard for me because it's different than when I went to college.
Yeah.
Like all the online portal-y stuff.
But I figured it out. And yeah, that was the year I had to read Hamlet like 4 times. And it was really annoying because I don't really like Hamlet. Controversial opinion also there, but like
throw it out.
I don't like it. I don't like it. Maybe it's just because I've read it so many times, but it annoys me so much. It's so long and nothing happens the whole time until the end where everyone dies. And
spoilers, Bailey, spoilers.
The main character isn't likable. He's just the worst. And yeah, that's I don't like Hamlet. I've read it too many times. I wrote a 5-page paper on it. I don't like it.
And going back a little bit, I feel like with schooling, like I think it's been really cool that we've homeschooled and kind of figured out like, okay, we're going to pursue like this direction of learning, or like Bailey's so used to the idea that like, hey, I'm now ready to move to the next step. And she wanted to do that and like ask for that. And I think that's like a really like outside of the just schooling, like, oh, you got this information. Now you learned like you can pass this test. It's more like life skills and like how you approach life. And I really appreciate that she could look at it and go like, I want to move on now. And I feel like if when I was in high school, even if I had done all the things or was feeling like I less interested, I would have been like, oh, cool, I've got some free time. Like, I'm going to go do something else. Like, that's kind of how, like, to me, it was always like, okay, do I need, like, I'm going to check off the boxes, get the work done. And then it's about whatever else and that I wanted to do. Not necessarily like good for me or like not bad either, but just like I wasn't trying to like push myself to the next step of learning. And I feel like she knew that she could do that. And then she was like, okay, well, like, let's come up with a solution. Like, let's do the college thing instead. And I think that was a much better fit for her.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think Bailey didn't want to talk about it at the time. Like, she wanted to just like really experience that whole high school experience without any additional like online thoughts and pressure. But there was so much that like we could have talked about. Like, there were so many interesting things going on within it.
I did like. There was nothing wrong with this school or anything. I liked it.
It was a really cool school.
It was a really cool school.
And the admin was really
great. Were really nice. I was just annoyed that I wasn't being challenged, and also annoyed that it took so much time. of me not being challenged.
Yeah.
It's like this is like taking up my entire day and I'm not really learning anything.
It was like I woke up at 8 a.m. for this.
I woke up at 8 a.m. for this. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I feel like that, like, and honestly, like, not right now, we are a part of public school. Like, we're in public school with what we're doing. It's just done differently.
Yeah, it's better.
And so, like, honestly,
except we don't get prom.
Yeah, Bailey's. I think you should do it. I think you should just ask if you can initiate setting up the prom.
Can
it would
I
be
make
a
a prom,
monstrous
please?
endeavor. Yeah, just ask. Be like, hey, is this something possible? Do other people want to do it? And just see if you can like make it happen. I don't know.
I'm in the Honor Society.
Yeah,
right now.
Bailey's in the National Honor Society. She got an email about that the other day. She's like, oh, cool.
I was like, oh, cool. I guess I'm doing this now. So
you seem pretty pumped on it, though.
Yeah.
Whatever the emails are, you seem into it. Let's see. But all that, like saying all that, what I meant to say was like, I'm not out like knocking public school, private school, homeschool. Like, I think
it just depends on the person, really.
It depends on the person, and it depends on the family dynamic and what your
Yeah.
needs are. Like, I think I saw, not to get political, but like there's like politics going on about like the education system, and I'm seeing some people sometimes, especially people who are like homeschooling or like only homeschooling, like have like a big experience in that, like ignoring the fact that, and talking flippantly about like, oh, the public school system isn't necessary, or like saying things about like getting rid of it or changing it up significantly, and like not looking at the fact that like so many, like our society depends on a public school system, because kids, most people have like two parents who are, or fewer or more, who are working during the day, and kids need to be in a space, and it's great that they're learning in that space, and like the school system is amazing for that. Like, and I remember during COVID, it was like I heard some people who are like, why can't kids just stay at home during COVID? And it's like, no, it's important to also have the option for people, like, what about doctors and like people who need their kids in a place during the day? Like, there's just so many nuances to it that I don't think it's ever okay to just say like, we should completely not have this or abolish this or whatever. Like, I love that homeschooling is an option. It's been great for our family. And so far for the kids that have been in it, but we've also been like, when Bailey was like, hey, I'm interested in trying out public school, I was like, yeah, like, let's try this. And I certainly didn't want her to do life and then look back at it and be like, I regret that I was never allowed to or could never try this other thing.
I wanted to try it because I'd never done it.
Right. So like, I am not if you're looking at me as the homeschooling variety of person who's like homeschool or bust and like, this is the only way, like that is not, I'm not like that. Like, I think that it's really great that we have as many options as we do. And I'm glad that even homeschooling now has additional things like homeschooling through charters and stuff like that. Like, I think that that is really cool. And I also don't like it when people knock homeschoolers. Like, families and people and types of schoolers come in all different kind of varieties. There are goods and bads in both. And I'm just grateful that it's an option, and I would never knock somebody's choice to go with a public school, private school, or homeschool. Like, I guess unless I knew them directly and they were doing something like egregious, but like, just because of the choice, like, I wouldn't knock it. Wesley says they're from Brazil. I'm Brazilian. Hello, Wesley. Kimberly says, I went to Catholic school for K-12. To this day, I still have a fear of nuns. LOL. Yes, LOL. I'm sorry. And that's awful. I'm so sorry that you had a bad experience. And even to that, like, I would hope that, and I'm sure that there are people who had an amazing experience in Catholic schools. And then there are people who have really bad experiences, but it doesn't mean that the type of schooling itself is like always flawed. And the same thing for public school, same thing for homeschooling. Opinion on Walker Scobell. I feel like the general consensus of the world is positive, right?
Yes.
Like, the casting was great. Any other thoughts?
He's perfect for Percy Jackson.
Yeah. And the kids also really like his other things in general.
The Secret Headquarters movie was great, and the Adam Project.
Yeah.
I feel like as soon as I saw that Adam Project, it was like right after I found out he was Percy Jackson, I was like, this is perfect.
Yeah. Somebody says, you still use Sunlight or similar. Not totally. Sunlight has some really great book recommendations. Their literature is really fantastic, I think. Depending, like there's obviously a range always, but I think they have some really great recommendations. I think that their heart is generally pretty good from what I can tell, which I'm really grateful for. But I mean, especially not since we're through a charter. Sunlight does have a religious element, and that doesn't, a charter doesn't cover, a public school charter doesn't cover any sort of like religious curriculum. Like that's the difference with public schools and charters and things like that. You can of course still do those things on your own, but it's not, we're not directly using, we're using some of the books from Sunlight within other things. And like they overlap a lot. Like you'll see things like To Kill a Mockingbird,
The War That Saved My Life, right?
War That Saved My Life.
That book was amazing.
Yeah. So I would say not directly. I think for a lot of the math, we're using the Math Through C curriculum, which was also like within the Sunlight boxes. And
I'm not taking math anymore. I don't have to take math until college.
Yeah, you're college. So you're gonna have to take it within high school to finish the because Bailey's going to finish her first 2 years of college within high school. So,
but I'm planning on taking statistics instead of algebra because I don't want to do algebra anymore.
Maybe you can get opinions on that.
Yeah. Do you guys have opinions? I just like really don't want to do algebra ever again.
Ooh, Bailey, I see something you
liked algebra
would want to do.
I did not like algebra 2. That was just, my brain kind of just went.
Yeah, and I think she's open to hearing about statistics. I've never taken it, and she was thinking it might be like a different new kind of math that she might like.
Statistics with Khan Academy to like kind of prepare for the college
if it was something
thing.
You liked.
And I do enjoy it so far. I like it. So yeah.
Ooh, Wildest Dreamer says, I personally also do statistics over algebra. I agree with you, Bailey. Great.
Awesome.
I hope it's a better, because Bailey has a math brain. Like when she does testing for things,
but it's a certain type of.
Yeah, her brain is like out of this world in the top percentile for math stuff. But she doesn't like it, so it's not something she like gravitates towards. But I always, my opinion, my teacher mom opinion is like, and this goes to books too, especially if you're out there and saying like, I'm not a reader, I don't like books. It's, you have to find your thing. So like, I think there's a math out there, and puzzles. I think that's where puzzles and logic puzzles,
matrix reasoning puzzles. Mm-hmm. Those are really fun.
Right.
I'm apparently like a genius at those.
Right. Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like matrix reasoning in particular, you're like off the charts, a genius at. But like
those ones where it's like got the names and then there's more names and then there's the.
I don't think most people know what you're talking about, but it's okay. But yeah, so like for specific things, Bailey is like out of this world very good at, and also she hasn't found something that like makes her heart sing about doing those things, aside from doing puzzles, which you've always done.
I love puzzles.
I know.
Yeah. And anagrams, word puzzles. Word puzzles are great.
Yeah.
And like codes, ciphers, so fun.
Yeah. So I feel like
that's why I love escape rooms.
Right. And the other like teacher mom part of me is like sad that current like math books, and I know that not all math programs, like I know a lot of them don't want to be this, but I feel like math is so pigeonholed into being a certain thing, and people are like, oh, well, I like this or I don't, throughout the schooling process. And it's like, actually it is bigger than what we're typically presented in schools. So anyway, I'm sad that Bailey kind of thinks of herself as not a math person, because I think there's probably something out there.
It's not that I'm not a math person. It's that I don't enjoy the math that I have to do for school.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
right.
I feel like there would be some sort of math that I would enjoy. I like logic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I do like making charts. I liked when they had the lines and you graphed them in geometry. I think that was freshman year that I did that. Geometry.
I can't remember when you did geometry.
Yeah.
But it was there. It was around.
It was somewhere in the world of that. I did also want to get into coding, but I never did.
Yeah. That's the other thing too. People recommend that for you. And
I want to do coding. I just like, I feel like I took a few coding classes.
You took some, I put you in some classes.
But everyone else in the class already knew everything. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what is this? It was like they were speaking another language. And I was like, I don't understand. How am I supposed to learn if you're speaking another language? It was like an immersive language class, except harder because it wasn't a language.
Well, and then we also we have Bitsbox.
Yeah.
So we have like a couple
I do
years
love those, yes.
And then we have Scratch. So I feel like we have the beginning coding stuff.
Yeah.
But that like bridge.
I just don't understand the language of coding. Like, you have the words, right? Like, I can understand what words you're using, but then you also have like dashes and like.
But I think that's what it is, though. It is a language, and you have to like learn that language. And I think once you did, you would actually really probably like it. That'd be my guess. Because then you're in like a secret club of like, I know how to do that, or I can like change your whole computer to being something else. So I feel like anyway, I saw something you would really like. Rebecca says, in Quebec, our education is split 50-50 in English and French. We would have common classes like ethics or geography, but taught in our non-maternal language.
Oh, wow.
I know you would love that.
Yeah, I'm kind of learning French right now, so that's awesome.
And then Cat Pizza says, been watching you guys TikTok lately. Can I suggest you guys do more like your 2020 TikToks to like where you catch up with the latest dance and all that? Made a permanent memory for me. That is awesome. We love doing stuff like that. Again, like every stage of life, we're figuring things out. And right now, I am telling you, we are kind of in toddler zone. And I think in like a year.
There are so many toddlers, too.
Many.
But it feels like a million.
And like for example, we're alone and it's quiet in our house right now. And that was like Christopher's not here. I'm assuming he has them somewhere. Like I talked to him and I was like, okay, take them for a walk, do whatever you can. Like he's doing something to make it so we can do this. And that's kind of how our life is. Like we're doing something to make it so the kids can do school, or we're doing something or I'm doing something so that Christopher can edit. And it's just a lot of like navigating that. And I feel like when I say that with the toddlers, it's like watching them for their safety, and then also just the noise that happens. And then things like potty training and stuff, and like the unexpected that you wouldn't want to deal with on a live stream, and not like deal with, but like you wouldn't want something to accidentally happen on a live stream that shouldn't appear on a live stream. And it's just like, it's loud, it's busy, we're always doing stuff. Assignments are always due. Like there's just a lot going on right now. And as far as doing TikTok dances and stuff, I feel like Parker picks them up very quickly and will sometimes, like, it's all he wants to do. He'll wake up in the morning and be like, I want to learn a TikTok dance. I want to learn TikTok dance. And like, that's all I want to talk about. And sometimes I have to find the dances. I have to find the music usually, because I don't like Parker to like free go through TikTok, because it's there's a lot of like language and stuff that he doesn't get exposed to. And so I usually try, and also dances, like you never really know. I don't like language, like I don't like racial slurs and stuff in songs. I don't want the kids to hear that. And so anyway, I'm careful with things like that. So I feel like I have to find them. And then it's been a little easier, because some things have been a little easier because he's like really into Taylor Swift. So like, or like there was a time when he's really into like K-pop and the surrounding K-pop things. And that was easier because I had like a subject to go with. But right now it's like whatever pops up on my feed, or if you see something you want to recommend it to us, like that makes it easier because it's like fast and I can be like, here's the thing. But then Christopher's really good at learning dances, and I feel like him and Parker do a good job with them. I feel like Jacob is really good at, like, surprisingly good at dancing, and only sometimes wants to do a dance. Like he'll sometimes want to do it like if it's funny, or maybe if it's a group dance, but he's just like not excited about dancing, and that's fine. Like, so he just doesn't do it unless it's like there was a period like 2020 when he was into it, him and Parker would do them, but he's just not as much anymore. So he's not as much anymore. Like that's where he's at. I feel like Bailey is kind of always game.
Dancing, but like I'm really clumsy sometimes.
So and you're like me.
I'm trying. I'm like really trying. Like, yeah. And this is a big problem for me with theater and stuff too, because like a big part of theater is dancing, and I love theater so much, and I want to dance. Right. And when it clicks for me, it's like this is the greatest feeling I've ever felt. Yeah. But it takes a really long time for it to click for me.
So I feel like Parker will learn a dance in 30 minutes, maybe less.
Like 10 minutes.
Maybe 10 minutes. And I take probably 2 hours.
Same.
Yeah. And it's like, I have to deeply think about it. I have to do it so many times terribly, which is fine. Like I'm okay with the fact that I do it bad for so long. And then, like what Bailey was saying, there will be a moment when all of a sudden everything is in my brain and my body knows what to do and I can do the dance. And it's like such a great feeling, but it takes me so much time to get there. So I don't know. I love doing the dances. I feel like it's like a video game, like Dance Dance Revolution, like where you're like, I don't know. I really enjoy doing the dances, but I just am not as good at it and it takes so long. I think it's a good workout because it takes like, you're like 2 hours of dance. I'm like 2 hours of trying to figure it out. But yeah.
I normally have to watch it in slow-mo like 100 times
Yeah.
and then slowly speed it up.
Yeah. Yeah. And Parker just is already on that speed in his brain and he's like, yep, got it.
No, he normally learns in like 2 times the speed or something.
Yeah. But anyway, so thank you. I love that you like those videos. We really like those videos. We're just trying to figure out how to manage our time as best we can and also deal with preferences. Because again, like sometimes Jacob wants to do them, but not as often. And he's one of us that can really pick up a dance quickly. And then other than that, Christopher and Parker, I think, pick them up the fastest. Bailey's always game. Bailey's always like, yeah, I'll do a dance.
I'm like, I'll do it, but I'm not going to be great at it. So also I'll do it, but it's going to take me a million hours to learn and we're going to have to reshoot it like 20 times.
Yeah, me too. That's how I am. Tom says, struggle with the geometry. It opens so many doors. And that's advice I had never heard. I didn't know that geometry led to much more. I guess it makes sense. Like I feel like with Jacob, it's helpful with a lot of his like calculations of things.
I'm good at geometry. I just don't like algebra 2.
Yeah.
I liked algebra 1 until like halfway through it. And then I was like, why?
Why
am I learning this?
What are you using in astronomy right now? Are you using algebra or is it geometry?
It's algebra and it's painful.
Because Bailey is taking astronomy as a college course right now. And she needs a calculator for it and stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm going to go back a little bit. I love statistics. This is cruise planners. I love statistics. When I was in school, I still talk to my professor, but it depends on what you want to do later in life. Sometimes we do things to get there, which aren't the most interesting. Yeah. But they're necessary to be successful in our field. I feel like, yeah. What is your favorite thing about doing theater, says James Talks Movies?
Everything, just all of it. Actually, my favorite is the night before closing.
All right, why?
Well, the night before closing night is the best night, always, pretty much always. Because closing night is the night where
all the tears,
and I don't like that. So I like the night right before it because that's when we know it the best. It's absolutely perfect. Everyone knows everything they're doing. There are no mess ups, pretty much. I've had like maybe one show that wasn't like that, but the night right before closing night is always the best one. And it's less emotional. And it's like, okay, we're doing this. We know this so well. So and it's the best. It's so good.
Well, and James Talks Movies just asked that question. I hope you're still here. I'm trying to see if they're going to answer anymore. James Talks Movies, are you still here? Because your name, like seeing your name up there, reminded me that you asked a question months ago on one of our videos. Is he still here? Okay, I'll hold it. But I have had this question. I pulled it up when I saw his name because I've been saving it because he had a question for Bailey about directing. So James, if you're here, just tell me again and I'll have Bailey answer this question for you because I've been meaning to have her get into it. Let's see, going back a little bit more. Hi guys, this is from Wildest Dreamer. Hi guys, I'm a huge fan. I've watched you guys ever since around 2020 and now I'm in junior high and still watching you. Thanks for making amazing videos. Thank you guys so much. Oh, that is so sweet. Thank you. Hey, Sunny Pretty Flowers Carolina says, hey Bailey, on Friday, it's my birthday and I'll be 29 and Anna will be 25 years old.
Oh, that's awesome. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Lulu says, same thing in Saudi Arabia. We have some of our classes in English and some in Arabic, and now Chinese has been introduced to the new education system. We have some schools like that in the United States. I think they call them immersion schools usually, or I can't remember. I think there is another name for them, but they're not common. It's not like the standard. And I've always thought that that was really, really cool, like very, very neat. So unfortunately, it's not something that we prioritize in the United States. And I don't know if in part it's because it's like the decision of which language to use or to add to English. And I think the United States is so large that there are different priorities. Like there was a time when my family lives in Ohio and I lived out there very briefly. And French was sort of like the main language that they were learning in Ohio. I think because it was close to Canada. And I think that's why. And then in California, of course, people are more focused on learning Spanish. And I don't know if that's part of the reason, like the discussion of which one to do. And clearly we have trouble making decisions here. But let's see. Oh, James is here. Great, Bailey, thank you. Bailey just tapped me on the shoulder and was like, hey. Okay, James, this is a long question, but this is something you asked like months ago. And I told you at the time that I would have Bailey look at this question. So I'm going to read this out loud really quick. Question for Bailey. I remember when you directed a whole Zoom musical of the classic musical Seussical.
Oh yes.
Would you ever? And Bailey did this during COVID.
I was
right?
12. Yeah.
And she got like friends recruited over Zoom and family. And
it was like the most double casted. Like everyone had like 4 roles because there were only like 4 people.
But you got it done. It was not adult led at all. And Bailey got it done. She was like holding rehearsals and then she did the show and it was very good. And James is asking, but would you ever direct another one? I think when you did that musical, you said you were thinking of doing Aladdin next. Just like everyone in your family that saw the last show you did, even though I was just seeing snippets that your dad filmed, I was very impressed with how much care and thought you put into it. As an aspiring film director, that is something I really like about you, your passion for what you do. And I think that if you go into acting, that's great. If you only go into acting, but putting on more shows as a director might help on your acting journey by understanding what other directors might want by being in those shoes yourself. So what are your thoughts?
I did do Aladdin, but I think a few months after Seussical.
Mm-hmm.
That was
I don't
fun.
think we filmed it.
No, we didn't film it.
Something happened, like we couldn't get the Zoom file to work.
Yeah, no, it was too much for my computer. My computer has space problems.
Yeah,
because I keep starting projects and never finishing them, and I have like 80 unfinished projects.
Yeah. But would you ever direct anything else?
I don't think I'd ever direct a musical again. I don't really want to do that again, but I am interested in directing like a TV show or a movie. I would love to. What?
I'm surprised to hear that about you in musicals. I just feel like you have such a musical brain. You organize it all so well. I could totally see you doing
a writer for a musical.
I think you'd be great at that.
Or an actor. Or I was gonna say choreographer, but then I remembered that I'm terrible at dancing.
Just at the moment. It was like, nope, that's not a life for me.
No. I don't know. I don't think I would want to direct another musical. It was a lot of work, and not that I didn't like it. I did enjoy it. I just liked acting better. And I like doing everything else that comes with a musical more than directing. Directing a movie or TV show, though, seems really fun. Especially since there's a lot more you can do with like cameras and camera angles, that kind of thing. But yeah. That's
awesome. Yeah, it's a lot. I could see you doing a lot.
Honestly,
of things in musical theater,
I think I'm more
really good at that.
I'm more into the whole like costume design, music, script writing, and acting.
Wild Shiva says, I'm learning French on Duolingo.
Yes, same.
Bailey loves Duolingo French. And then Nicholas Shaw is going to make you so jealous because they're saying my school is doing Lightning Thief for the musical in November.
I am so so jealous. Like literally, I think Annabeth in Percy Jackson is one of my absolute dream roles. Or anyone. Grover would
In
be
the
really
Lightning
fun.
Thief in
Yeah, in the
particular?
Lightning Thief. There should be a second one. I feel like I liked the
Sequels.
second book even better than the first one.
Maybe, I mean, if the TV show continues to be successful.
There should be a second musical. That's just
we're
my
lots-
opinion. There should be so much done with that. I know it's like
One sec,
so
Ruby needs
much
to come on.
work to write a musical. Obviously, it's like you have to write all the songs, the music. That's the same thing, but like also the words and the script and everything. It's a lot of work to write a musical, but like there needs to be a second one. Like they even sing in the last song that they'll be back, and then they never are.
Well, this is not the end of history, Bailey.
There should be another musical.
I'm saying there probably will be.
There will be?
I mean, yeah, why not? Let's believe it.
Let's believe it.
And Lena says, hi. I feel like Christopher isn't texting me or anything. Christopher, text me how things are going. I feel like they're home and milling about and like might need to have full access to the house again, including the kitchen for dinner. So we might need to end our. Oh, Nicholas wants a second one as well, Bailey.
Yes.
Hey, so at least 2 people want it.
Yes.
I'm sure many
more.
2
people.
Parker, I'm sure, wants it too. Jacob likes the musical too, doesn't he?
Yes.
So
that's 5. I think. No, wait, 4. Math.
Speaking of math, somebody said that I'm not good at math at all. Oh, Casey, thank you.
So much.
Hello. What a cute little, is that a cat or a fox thing?
I think it's a little dog. It's a dog.
It's a dog. Let's see. Somebody said something about trigonometry. I'm not good at, Sasha says I'm not good at math at all, but I love geometry, but especially trigonometry. Maybe Jacob would like that. Jacob does really well with geometry.
Calculus right now.
Yeah. He's past you?
Yeah, I'm never doing calculus. Cannot. The names alone is what made me not want to do it. It sounds really daunting.
Like that's a bit much.
Yeah.
They're good.
I can just use a calculator.
Okay. So yeah, let me see where we're at with things. I think we should probably I was thinking maybe Daddy would text me, but he's not. So I think we probably should shut down. If anybody has any pressing, urgent questions.
Yes, please ask any pressing, urgent.
James says, if we both end up directing film and TV, let's hook up together and create something fantastic.
Yes.
All right. She does already have a directing buddy with Jacob.
Yes,
they have big
is
plans.
My directing buddy.
But you guys be a whole crew.
We're taking a history of film class right now, and that's very helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any favorite classic films, James, or like movies that inspired you to direct?
I really liked Citizen Kane. Just saying.
Bailey we watched Citizen Kane a long time ago with Jacob, but Bailey didn't, and she finally got to see it. Like, was it last week or the week before?
Yeah.
Nicholas Shaw wants to know how tall you are.
I am 5'7". 5'7".
I think you're 5'8" now.
5'8".
She's around 5'7" to 5'8", and I'm 5'5". I am, I think, in the United States, a very average height, and in our family, I am so tiny looking. And I mean like my extended family too. Like when we take family photos, I'm like so much shorter than everybody. But actually, like in the US, I think I'm average. I'm taller than a lot of people in my family. But in Christopher's family and extended, it's like I'm very small. Thanks again for all the homeschooling info, Jess. It's Jacqueline. Looking forward to the updated homeschool video. And then Hamani Kumar says, Bailey, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Oh, wow. I don't know. I want to work on like film and TV stuff. Also theater. And so like an actor, screenwriter, writer of music. Entertainment, yes. I also really like coffee, so working at a coffee shop would be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bailey's has Starbucks dreams, barista goals. I feel like you would be so good at writing music. Like Bailey understands music on this like very neat level, and she does take music lessons, but I wish she had taken more.
I wish I had taken more too, like especially when I was littler, because that's like when you pick things up the most. But I can still pick stuff up now.
Yeah, and we kind of tried. I don't know, but
I'm learning about
just
music
only so much you can do
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like you understand it. Like she's really into instrumental music and like listened to instrumental music when she was a small child and all she wanted was like the Inside Out soundtrack and like
yes, I listen to a lot of movie soundtracks and musicals
and like instrumental though. Like she's always like instrumental music. Like she just loves it so much in a way that I don't think a lot of like kids necessarily are drawn to that. And I just think she has such a brain, like music does something in her brain that's magical.
It makes me happy.
I think that's fairly typical, but
it does happiness in my brain.
It does happiness. It's more direct. Okay. I can definitely go to college for music, Bailey. James says Lion King is the first movie I remember ever watching, and that's what got me into it really. Then I saw Titanic, which is now my favorite movie of all time. That's awesome. We have seen Titanic.
I've seen Lion
King. Jacob
too.
Hasn't finished it. You've seen Lion King. Yeah, but you and I have watched Titanic, but
yes.
I watched it with Jacob and we got cut short and I think he did want to watch more and it just like hasn't happened. And that was a long time ago. Got forgotten.
My favorite movie is probably Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's just the best movie, in my opinion.
Yeah. I always say it's not my favorite movie, but I do think it is the best movie. Like it is so well done.
I don't know. I think it's my favorite.
That's wonderful. I love it. It's not my favorite because like I also have like my heartstrings are involved and I don't have necessarily a favorite movie, but like
it's like, you mean more like a comfort movie? Because Everything Everywhere All at Once is not a comfort movie. It's more like you watch it and you're like, this is amazing.
Yeah. I watch it, I'm just like, this is the perfect, especially to come out in like this day and age. That was something that like feels new in itself. And it's just so well done. It's so well done. I think it's like the perfect film. But anyway.
It's so good. I'm trying to think of what other movies I like a lot. I like a lot of movies. I like TV shows better than movies because I don't know. There's more you can do with TV shows. You can, it's like there's a lot more you can do with the characters and the story.
I was going to say the same thing.
And it's, I mean, it really depends. Sometimes TV shows go on too long and aren't very good later on.
So again, kind of going back to like the very beginning of this live stream, like when TV started, it was kind of like the lesser in quality option and movies were like this, there was more budget, they were more developed and they were just like so impressive. And things really flipped when they started focusing on like the limited, the 10 episode series. Like
I think we were talking about this before the live stream.
Maybe,
this wasn't the live
it used
stream.
to be like 24 episode, episodic, like little laugh tracks, like just things that they just weren't, there was a lot of like quality issue. And then they switched and now they're just like long form movies. Yeah. And you get so much character development, you get so much opportunity to like twist and turn in things, like to, to have these surprise things or like on a deep level surprised and like multiple things. Like there's just so much more that a TV show can do now. And it's really cool. Let's see. My favorite, Casey says, my favorite TV show is The Good Place.
I love The Good Place. I haven't finished it yet. There's there's a ton of TV shows we haven't finished, but that they're really good. Like it's not because they're not good that we stopped them. It's just because we were watching something else that was also good. And then we were like, oh, I want to go back and watch The Good Place. And then we go back and watch it, but then don't finish it and then go to another thing. It's like all over the place.
Mm-hmm. Then somebody asked if anybody in our family is neurodivergent. And I mean, yes, I mean, there's a lot of neurodivergent, has a lot of different realms and for sure. And I think I would assume like most families have somebody who's neurodivergent in like some realm. But yeah, we've got a lot of neurodivergence in our family.
Yeah.
Mia says, any new hobbies you got into? Any new hobbies?
New?
Just say a few if you've got some in your brain.
I'm literally trying. I'm just trying to think.
Yeah. Bailey's in a, I don't know if I can tell this. I guess I can.
What?
That you're in a musical theater competition.
Oh yeah, I just started like a musical theater competition thing, so doing that now.
It's so great.
It's so
like
fun.
if you think of, if you know the movie Pitch Perfect, and then you turn that into like theater kids instead of an a cappella group,
and
that's
it's
what
like
this
acting
is.
in theater.
I'm
It's
so jealous. I wish I either that it existed or I knew about it when I was your age, because it is like the coolest thing. I'm so excited for you. So that's a new thing. I feel like otherwise, we've been trying to read here and there. I've been watching a lot of live streams myself. So that's something I've been really into lately. And also, I don't know. I feel like
actually over like the past year or 2 years, that's when I've started like getting into into watching TV shows. Was more recent. So that's like kind of a new hobby-ish, I guess. Also watching older movies. It's not really a hobby, but it's for my film class, but I'm enjoying it, so I'm considering it a hobby, even though it's like
count that as a new hobby.
I have to do it, but I'm enjoying it.
And we are going to, at that, it's 2 hours exactly for this live stream.
Oh wow, yeah.
And I think we're gonna head out.
I'm gonna read this.
You're gonna read, yeah. Bailey's gonna finish it all. We're thinking about doing another one of these when she finishes the book. That will be massive spoilers on the new book. So if anybody's interested in that, message me somewhere, either in the comments of this video or I don't know, on my Instagram maybe or somewhere.
You guys, please read Percy Jackson, please.
Yeah, I know that we sidetracked a lot and we had a lot of fun talking about other things, but like the heart of this conversation is that this book just came out today and Bailey's excited to read it, and we'll be reading it in the next, probably today.
Thank you so much, Casey.
Oh my goodness, thank you. So yeah, happy live stream. Let's see if I can even turn this off. Oh, there it is. It says in stream. All right. Bye guys. Leave lots of comments, especially if you have future questions. If you enjoyed this, please tell me and tell me if you want to see more. I personally really love watching live streams. So if you want to see more of that and have any questions for future ones,
yeah, this was fun.
It was super fun. Has it been all that you've remembered since you've talked about how much you love live streaming?
Yes, I love live streams.
I love live streams.
We should do one where we like play a game or something eventually.
We can do that. Daddy and I have done that a little bit on TikTok.
I want to do the Sims.
Video game.
Got it.
Yeah. I know that's hard because I have to figure out how to set it up. I always completely forget how the whole setup works, but good to know. I love you. Yes. All right. Bye guys. Have good weather. I'm seeing a lot of people saying they're having weather problems, and be safe out there. And I hope the evening is not too hard and loud. All right. Have a wonderful, wonderful night. Bye.